a lot of us, we are still just, in the species of a male, but we don't actually hold the characteristics of being an actual man. This protection isn't always, you protecting the house or using a weapon to protect your family. Protection is just knowing that your presence is in the house, knowing that your presence is around, and that you command, the room, so to speak, for your family. That is protection. Welcome back to the channel. It's that guy, so fly, Energy Eli. Please do make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe, man. Listen, fellas, the duty of a man, in most cases, are three things. A man is to provide, a man is to protect, and a man is to procreate. So now I'm gonna go over briefly, breaking down what those three things mean as being a man. See, a lot of times when it comes to being a man, a lot of us, we are still just, in the species of a male, but we don't actually hold the characteristics of being an actual man. There's a lot of, rigors and things that men, go through, that we don't speak about a lot, that we are faced with. And I know a lot of, women can, understand where we're coming from and the things that we deal with, on a daily basis. But a lot of times, man, a lot of people don't understand, what it truly means to be a man. As I said, a lot of us are just males, but we don't actually hold the title of what it is to be a man. So I'm just gonna briefly go over those three things that I mentioned, what it is to be a man and how those characteristics, dictate if you are a man or leading up to being the man that needs to be. So without further ado, hey man, let's get right into it. Tip number one, provide. Now, in this Western society, in this, this new age of, species of what it is to be a man, the most number one thing that people like to say when it comes to providing is finances. Now, listen, finances are a huge part of the equation when it does come to being a man, because you need to handle your business. You need to maybe take care of your children, your spouse, hold things down in the household. But beyond that, it's so much deeper than being a man, just being able to have a lot of money. Listen, there are a lot of guys who have a ton of money, but they can't tell you the first thing about being a man. They can't tell you the first thing about, having to go through these changes and work hard and figure this out and do A, B, C, D. They can't do anything. They can't change a tire. They can't, check oil. They're scared to go to the door if it's a bump in the night. Those things, money can't buy. So I don't want you to get caught up in thinking that you're not a man because you don't have all the tools right now, because you don't have all the finances right now. You can still be a man on your way up. You can still be a man before you get there. It's not dictated on how much you have in your bank account. That is a westernized mentality. That is that city girl mentality. That is that, shot caller, baller. If you don't got it, I don't even want to talk to you. That is that mentality. And that's the mentality that we have to kill. Because if a brother is working, sister, if a man is working to get to that level, you need to, meet him at that level as far as the understanding of he's trying. So fellas, I don't want you to think because you probably can't provide, fully financially like you want to at this present moment, and, making it feel as though you are not a man or, your manhood is in question. Listen, fellas, don't allow that to be a stumbling block for you to achieve where you want to go and achieve where you want to be. So, providing is not always just finances. It could be through other ways, from, the way you may care for your family, the way you protect and, watch over your family. Those things are sometimes more equated than what finances could do. So, hey man, without further ado, we're gonna get now into tip number two. Tip number two, protect. Now, I kind of alluded a little bit of this in the tip number one, protection. As I stated before, protection isn't always, you protecting the house or using a weapon to protect your family. Protection is just knowing that your presence is in the house, knowing that your presence is around, and that you command, the room, so to speak, for your family. That is protection, whether it be through prayer, whether it be through you physically being there, whether it be through you just preparing certain things, knowing, okay, let me watch out and look for my family because A, B, C, D, this may happen. That is protection. And this is also protection as well, for sure. But protection is, praying for your family, asking the Most High to cover your family, looking over your family. Those things can be equated into, protection, not just the physical. I want you guys to really understand this, fellas, when it comes to being a man. A lot of things aren't just physical. Like I told you, that's that westernized mindset. They said that, okay, if you don't lift 400 pounds, you're not a man. Like, that's not the things we're talking about. It's so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper than material things. It's so much deeper than things that we can physically touch. So I don't want you guys to think that protecting, being a protector is all about physically, or is all about fighting or things of that nature. It is, so many other ways, just your little words or protection to watch out for, when you maybe with your children or whoever. Hey, don't cross the street. That's protection. That's being vigilant. So I don't want you guys, like I said, to get caught up in thinking it's all physical. Some of these things, or physical, as far as rumbling, some of these things could just be literally your word of mouth. But now let's get into the final and third tip. The final and third tip of, what it really means to be a man is to procreate. Now, before I get deep into this, I'm not telling you to just grow and procreate with any woman that you see, if it's not your wife or it's not someone that you're, planning to be with and things of that nature. But the duty of a man, is to create, because we hold the seed, fellas. So if you hold the seed, you can bring forth life. Yes, the woman carries it, but the child is inside of you. It's literally just how it is with nature. When you see nature, when in form of a plant, that seed is in the ground. You put that seed in the ground and you water it. So that seed that's inside of you, fellas, you put it inside that woman and it is watered. So you have to be very careful of who you procreate with, fellas, because like I said, you do not want to put yourself in a position that's not going to be beneficial for you. Procreation for a man is everything, because you're leaving a legacy, fellas. You're leaving a kingdom, a reign, a dynasty, so to speak. So where you put your seed is very, very important. There's brothers who have their seed all over the world and they're not with any of these women. Then they have a whole headache of all these things going on with child support and, just broken homes and things. Fellas, you don't want to be put in that position. So be very, very careful with how you spread your seed. Be very, very careful with where you place your seed, because these things are very, very important, when it comes to procreating. When you procreate, you want to continue to build, have the next line and next legacy of, great individuals who are going to do very well in life and are going to just be overall just good citizens, So listen, fellas, those are 3 tips on what it is to become a man, what it is to improve as a man. Listen, I hope those tips help as they help me. But nevertheless, once again, my name is TheEnergyEli. Please do make sure you comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I'm out.